when I started property, I never really saw a black man that was at the level I needed to be in real estate in the UK. One of the biggest secrets of United Kingdom real estate is Russian money, is Chinese investors.
Our goal right now is to educate more people to get into financial freedom, because you're not truly free if you can't have choices.
Hey, Femi, how are you doing, my bro?
I'm good.
It's so good to see you. Like, literally, you're in London and you just hosted your first real estate event.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's so good to be in London in this time.
Yeah.
The weather's better than the last time.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So Femi, you know, me and you, we've been friends now for quite a really long time.
Yes.
And you're currently in London. You had your first real estate masterclass, and you invited me to come over. And I said, you know what, as a podcaster, you know, it would be so unfair for me to have you the second time in London and we don't have a chit chat, right?
Yeah, you said so.
Yeah, so first of all, how was the masterclass today?
Well, it's beautiful. I must say thank you guys for turning out. This is my first international event outside of Chicago.
Yeah,
my base. So the turnout was really good, and you know, from the feedback and everything, people were like, they really got value.
Yeah,
you know, and delivered value.
Interesting, you said deliver value. Obviously, value is something that is very important, especially, you know, for individuals like ourselves who have literally built businesses from literally nothing.
Yeah.
So delivering value is something that is very key.
Yeah.
So I really love the fact that you said, delivering value today was one of your core priorities. Yeah. How did you find that?
Here, you know, because literally it's by delivering value that people can actually take action, right? You know, information is key if people can literally apply it in their life. So, and value to everybody is different.
Yeah,
so
true.
For me, I feel if something is valuable, then I'm going to take action or steps, right? So, and I got a lot of people saying, hey, I never knew about this. Oh, so you could do this. I'm going to take action. I'm going to take steps. You know, literally some people started taking the steps right there, and that's for me is the reason why we have this kind of program. Right?
Yeah, I really love that. So Femi, you've been in real estate in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've come to London today to give value. And I remember last year when you first came, your very first ever return of the Mac, right?
Yeah.
So you used to live in Scotland, then you returned, like you know the music,
Return
of the Mac.
Yeah. So actually, I used to live in Wales.
Wales. Was it Wales or Scotland?
No, Wales.
Oh,
Wales.
How come I thought it was Scotland?
Maybe because I said I have a sister in Scotland.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but more of Wales, and yeah, like you said, you know, last time I came around, it was more like. You know, I've been away 8 years or thereabouts, you know, when I schooled in Wales, and I used to work in Tesco's, you know, so I have nothing wrong against Tesco's, but it's like the starting point, and I used to dream. And I remember vividly when I was leaving, some of those, the staff said, hey, we hope to see you as the Prime Minister of Nigeria. And I'm like, oh, we don't have a Prime Minister. They probably saw the kind of level of thinking that it was too big for Tesco.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, what did they see? Probably the way the way I talk, the way I carry myself and everything. You know, so and that's so for me coming back and being able to achieve this much. So it's kind of like, well, okay, I see what they see now. In that sense. Yeah.
Well, I can really, I absolutely agree with what you just said, because, you know, I remember those days when I used to drive my Uber taxi car, 2016.
Yeah.
People come into the car, and when we start having a conversation, they ask me, is this all that you do, or do you do something else? Because the thing is, people see what you and I don't see. All right, and people will always ask me, as an Uber driver, why are you doing, you know, why are you doing this kind of job?
Yeah.
You know, but obviously, definitely they saw something. And something that I always say as well is that light shows itself.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of darkness.
Yeah.
So we've had the opportunity to carry that light, and obviously probably that's what your work colleague did see.
Yeah, and also one important thing I would like to say is that it does not really matter where you start from.
Yes.
What matters is that you start.
Yes.
Right? And one other thing is the fact that wherever you find yourself, I would say it's a placeholder, and it's important for the process, right? Especially when it comes to real estate, right? If you're investing in real estate, you need, at the initial stage, you need some level of form of capital in one way or the other. So you don't just transition.
No.
So sometimes you need that job to keep you steady, because it's not a get rich quick, it's a get rich for sure.
Yeah.
And there's a process and a time. So I feel wherever you start from, you still learn the ethics, because some of those things are transferable skills. When you were driving Uber, you learned how to relate with people. Now you're raising funds. Those are coming in handy. I mean, I bet
100%,
Yeah.
1 billion%.
Yeah.
Driving Uber, I became the master plan head.
Yeah.
So in my dream, I can drive to any place in London.
You see?
But before that, I lived in this country for a very long time.
And you didn't know.
I didn't even know places.
Yeah.
But Uber opened my eyes. Yes, you're right.
So,
they are transferable.
Because one of the things that really helped me when I got to the United States, in Chicago, I was new, so I didn't know so many places. I didn't know people. It's my first time, So I started doing. Most people don't know, but I actually did Amazon Flex, Amazon
Delivery. I did that too.
Okay, so while I was doing Amazon delivery, I could maintain a mindset of, I'm just doing this. But I took the mindset of, I'm using it to know places.
Of course. So
I started going to places like, so this way, this is the way houses look in this area look like. This is the postcode. This is Southwest. This is Northwest. This is, so it kind of like, it was like a training ground for me, even though I was making money. So, and it came in really, really handy. And just yesterday, I told you I celebrated 8 years of living in the United States.
8 years?
Yes.
Wow. That's so powerful.
This episode of the Wealth and Business Podcast is brought to you by our partner and sponsor, Ramsey & White. Ramsey & White is an award-winning specialist intermediary covering property, finance, wealth management, and estate agency. The Ramsey & White team can help you secure or source funding for your buy-to-lets, your HMOs, your commercial development, holiday lets, portfolio acquisition. They also offer financial reviews covering pension and investment. Not restricted by lenders or locations, the team at Ramsey & White will help you build momentum covering or growing your investment portfolio. Feel free to contact Ramsey & White, who is our partner and our sponsor for this episode of the Wealth and Business Podcast. The links to contacting Ramsey & White will be somewhere around the show notes. Make sure to reach out to them, as this company has actually helped me build my property portfolio over the last 6 years.
Yeah, so 8 years later, you're petrolhead, real estate investor, you've done some amazing things. Wow, it must be a journey for you, right?
Well, it's always a journey. It's always a journey. I feel the most important thing about a journey is the process. It's not really about the end point is important, right? But it's the process. Who are you becoming on that journey? I always say wealth is who you become, right? Because if you take everything that we've accomplished, or all the material things, we can reproduce it.
True.
So, and that's what the process is all about. Because if not, we could give somebody 500,000 and give them something. But if you come back in 1 year or 2 years, you see that it will have depreciated.
100%.
So it's more about the process, what you're becoming. So like they will say, if everybody's giving a particular amount of money, it will, in 2 years or 3 years, it will come back to those that are actually wealthy on the inside.
I totally agree. So let's quickly talk about property now.
Okay.
So in the US, you're a specialist of the BRRRR strategy.
Yes.
In the UK, I'm a specialist of the BRRRR strategy.
Yeah.
And I remember in your conference room just now, I actually said, well, in the US, you guys go buy rehab, and we say buy refurb, or some people say buy renovate.
Yeah.
So this is a strategy that you have basically used to get on the ladder. Not just that as well. You sell properties as well. So you're a realtor. In the US, you guys say realtor.
Oh,
in the UK, we say estate agent, right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about that.
chose real estate as my vehicle to wealth, right?
Yeah.
So, but on the journey, my main goal is to be a developer, real estate entrepreneur and developer.
Land developer or
Land developer, commercial, all that. So,
Okay.
but like I talked about the process. So, because sometimes we dream big, and we experience analysis paralysis because it's so big that you can't start. So, but I dreamt big, and then I broke it down to where I am, and then from here, what I did is choose, okay, how can I start? And I started as a realtor.
Okay.
Because now I'm still in the real estate market, helping people to achieve their real estate goals and dreams.
Yeah.
While I'm being paid, but also learning how to source for deals.
Smart.
Learning and all that. So when I started like that, and when my money wasn't enough, I was able to save some down payments. It's because you're in the game.
Yeah.
You see deals, you analyze deals, even though you might be for a client, but you're getting the experience. So when a deal came and you were at the right time because you were prepared for the opportunity, I jumped in.
So for those who are listening now, and I love your analysis of how you've actually got into property.
Yeah.
But you guys say BRRR, buy rehab. All right. So you want to kind of just break that down, the audience, obviously our audience know what we do, but it's always good to kind of reiterate.
Yeah. So it's simple. It's B with 4 R's, right? So the first B stands for buy. Usually we buy undervalue, or a property that needs for us to add a bit of value. So we are value adders.
Yeah, value adders.
Value providers. Yeah. So the first R is for rehab or refurbish, depending on which country you are. And then the next R is after you refurbish, you rent it out.
Yeah.
Right. So once you rent it out, the next R is you refinance.
Yeah.
And the reason why we refinance is because we want to pull out all our money that we've put into that property, leaving some
free
houses, leaving some equity, and then you repeat the process. And that's how you start having $1, $2, $3, $10, $20.
Yeah.
And because you meet someone like, oh, I have $20, I have $30. I'm like, wow, this strategy is what got them there.
You guys says doors. That's how you calculate.
In America we calculate
number of doors.
Yeah.
Here we say property. I remember sometimes I say real estate. Real estate is not a kind of a language. I mean, in the property industry here, we love to say property rather than actually say real estate.
Yeah.
Because it's just a UK thing.
Yeah.
And then we now move forward and say doors. Again, that's another US.
Because sometimes you may have a building that has like 10
flats.
10 flats. Where you guys call it flat.
We call it flats and apartments here as well.
Condos. We call it flat. Condos.
You guys say condos.
So once we because as an investor, one door you take it as like a property because there's a cash flow that comes up.
Yeah.
So if you have a 20 apartment complex, so that's $20.
$20.
Yeah. That's just how we calculate it.
Wow. So Femi, we were talking about doors, versus the UK where we talk about property. So just kind of moving away from that, I love to really ask you this question, right? Is real estate global? And if it is global, obviously I know the answer, but I'm just being the devil advocate here. But is real estate global? And then if it is global, how can people tap into what you do in the US?
Well, real estate is global. The world is already a global village. Anyway, so real estate is in the world, and that means it's global, right? And because there are now a lot of tools that helps you to manage things, the same way we say OPM, other people's money, there's probably we need to start saying OPT, other people's tools, like in that sense, whereby you can be in the United Kingdom and invest in the United States. I can be in the United States and invest in the United Kingdom. I can be here and invest in Dubai market. So we're not limited, right? We're not global citizens.
Yeah.
It's because the internet has connected us, and it has connected even our property. I can have property. I can go online, log into the portal of the management company that's managing my property,
And control from there.
and see everything, see what's paid, see what not. So it's really, even from the comfort of your phone, you can control a lot of things. Even though I'm here, I can control my house from my phone.
Yeah.
So we live in a global world.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And speaking to those who probably might watch this from Nigeria specifically, a couple of years ago, I made a decision to literally follow a path in real estate. And in Nigeria right now, we're currently going through, the complete devaluation of the naira.
Yep.
And people say, oh, I'm in Nigeria, but I want to earn in real estate here in the UK, or I want to earn in real estate in the US. I said, actually, the only way you can actually survive Africa right now is to find a way to make money internationally.
True.
Whether that be still in naira that you're receiving, but invest your naira to kind of make money overseas.
Yeah.
So that the overseas money can pay you a return in Nigeria, where you don't have to overwork. So yes, real estate becomes global because at the end of the day, if you find people like yourself who is in quite massive in the US market, once upon a time you worked in Tesco. Myself in the UK, once upon a time I was an Uber driver, so we start from the bottom, now we're here, and the sky is not the limit, the sky is over the limit. So for those who might watch this from Nigeria, or even just Africans or Nigerians or Ghanaians who might watch this and they want to work with yourself, or because what would you say is your sort of words for them?
So it's no longer an option. It's now a necessity that you invest beyond your borders. Why? Because we see what happened with currency, Nigerian currency. Let's take Nigeria as a case study. The dollar to naira went crazy, and all of a sudden, you want to end in a strong we're developing countries, right? So you invest in your country, but also you invest in a stable economy. The United Kingdom, United States, they're all stable economy with some strong currency, right? So, and sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times, I have clients that their kids are in schools doing masters, so it became a pain point for them to be able to pay the tuition, because all of a sudden the dollar to naira became crazy. So, but I had another set of clients that were excited. Why? Because they had properties in the United States. So, and all they did was, just transfer the money to my daughter or to my son. While others were crying, they were not crying. Why? Because they had a foresight and invested. So the same way I'm telling others that it's no longer an option, but it's a necessity in order for you to be able to keep the purchasing power of your money for your wealth.
I really love how you said that, and interestingly, I had a conversation with 3 sets of people in the last couple of months, and one of them was an artist, a very big artist. Another one was a big politician. Another one was a very big entrepreneur. And all these 3 people I spoke to in these 3 categories, they've all sent their children abroad. And I actually said to them, if you had met me before you sent your children abroad about 4 years ago, what you should have done is to, before you actually send your children to school, what you want to do is to invest. So let's just say that education or tuition fees for a 5 years course they're studying, or for a 4 years course they're studying, or even a 3-year program they're studying, whatever that look like. Because as you know, Nigerians love to send their children abroad to study medicine. So that's why I said 5 years. So imagine every single year you're paying £70,000 tuition fees. All right. So that would be tuition fees, hostel, maybe even cost of running the children while they're here. Let's just say £70,000. So most times, some of them do have the money already available for that 5-year tuition fees. What I was saying to them was that you should, first of all, to the politician, was that invest in real estate ventures in the US, in the UK, for example. I'm based in the UK, okay? So invest that money in the UK, all right? for people like us who are strategists, we know how to turn £70,000 into, 5 properties. That's one per year. So 5 years before that time, invest that money. So that when your children comes, the real estate funds the school, funds their travel costs up and down,
the cash flow,
creates the cash flow, do everything. And he's like, oh, I did not know that. I said, but because the way you saw money was make money XYZ to fund XYZ. All right. Whereas it should be make money XYZ, invest that money, and then make that money multiply again. Now, let me bring this to the guy who is an entertainer. The reason why most of our artists, our actors are poor, broke, some of them, I'm not saying this to slight anyone, in the history of Nollywood, in the issue of even African music, obviously at the moment, African music is doing so well. All right, all of a sudden, white, red, yellow, black, whatever you're from, everybody's listening to Afrobeat at the moment, right? Now, Afrobeat has now also introduced our food. So people are talking about Ghana jollof rice, Nigerian jollof rice. Everybody's not eating. So yesterday I was in Tasties, and when I go into Tasties, I saw a few white folks eating pounded yam and eating jollof rice. I was so excited that wow, so we're starting to really welcome Nigerian food. Because normally you see a lot of Nigerians in other restaurants, but you never find other people eating our food.
But so it's changing now.
Exactly, it's changing. So my point is to these artists and these celebrities, why are they broke? Why are they poor? Because most times they don't use that celebrity status they have to become real estate entrepreneurs and use the money they make from music, put into real estate, leverage the real estate to promote their brand. Does that make sense? Imagine, let's just say, for example, the first time you sang, you made £300,000. Before actually reinvesting that £300,000 into music, you actually bought real estate with it, cash. And then you leverage the real estate as a loan to fund your musical career.
Because it's an asset.
Because what the institutions are looking for is security. All right. Any business model can be funded. So it's just a typical case scenario of how we really need to get our African brothers, our African sisters, especially those in Nigeria, or politicians, or government people, or business people, who should not start earning, because there's never such a great time to really earn foreign currency in Nigeria. Because the world has turned into a global village.
There's no longer like a physical border in that sense, because I can go online, I can put on my computer,
you can go on Instagram and search real estate entrepreneurs on Instagram. It will bring out Dr.Daniel, bring out Femi Aguda.
I agree. And just like you said, when we look at those guys, you can make your money anywhere, but usually it's ideal that you pack it in real estate.
Of course,
right? Because
it's secure.
It's tangible. You can touch it. You can live in it. You can live in stock. You can live in shares, right? So, and also, back to that point, I have a lot of the Chinese citizens. Before their child comes, they buy real estate. As in, you can go Google it. They buy real estate. So if the child is going to be there for 5 years, that cash flow monthly pays for their lifestyle. And sometimes after when they finish, they either sell it or keep it. Ask any real estate guys. They're doing that in Chicago, they're doing that in New York, they're doing that in LA, and I'm sure they're doing that in London. Of course. These are financial powerhouses. So, and they're a stable economy.
One of the biggest secrets of United Kingdom real estate is Russian money. It's Chinese investors. See? Let's just be very clean.
So you want to invest in somewhere where you're assured of return on investment. You are assured of stable economy, not policies that changes overnight, right? Because developing countries, we have the attribute of somebody coming and just changing all the policies just because you want to surpass this, or you don't want to continue the policy of your predecessor because they are from different political party or lineage in that sense. So, but here it's not. It's more than it's been institutionalized. So
Yeah.
it's more than just a person, but it's now it's a system, and the system works. So while we work on our own system, I'll rather advise that we take advantage of this system, because let's be frank. For me, how do you define a millionaire? A millionaire to me is if you can change your money in all currencies, currency of the world, and you're still a millionaire, then you're truly a millionaire.
Wow, I love that. Wow, Femi, it's been massively having a chat with you. You're in London. We've got a lot of things coming up together,
Yep.
which you guys will be seeing soon.
Yep.
And we can't wait to start doing some massive collaboration.
Yep.
US versus UK.
Yep.
You know, and especially the ethnic minority.
Yep.
You know, really bringing that awareness, you know, to the door. That, I mean, you and I have done amazing things. We're not
Yep.
just people who have been there for 20 years or 30 years. You know, we're just people in the last 10 years that, you
Yep.
know, we've done and we heard the information, we went and
Yep.
we took action.
True.
And we can look back 8 years, you know, a few years down the line and it's like, wow, look at where we are.
Yep.
And this is part of the reason why we're sharing this information, because for me, when I started property, I never really saw a black man that was at the level I needed to do in real estate in the UK. And I'm sure probably
I
it might be
agree.
the same for you in the US.
Well, yeah, I saw some, but I didn't see any Nigerian. I saw some, but I didn't really see any Nigerian and everything. So, and I've always had those dreams. I said, okay, if there's none, why don't you be the person?
Be the first, yeah.
Be the first, or be the one that others can get inspired, so they can take action and show them that it's possible.
It's possible.
So I took the bull by the horn, and we're here today, right? So we're not talking just from theoretical knowledge. We've got boots on the ground. When I'm in London,
Yeah.
and these are verifiable facts. You know, it's you can go online, type my name, type his name, you'll see it. You know, there's several articles, newspaper, journals, and you know, the same goes to you. So we want to take advantage, and we might just be coming to a city near you. I'm already spilling some things out of the bag, but you know, so our goal right now is to educate more people to get into financial freedom, because you're not truly free if you can't have choices. You know, and choices come. For me, I feel it's evil if you look at something and the thing tells you you can't afford it. I rather look at it and say I choose not to buy it, even though I have the resources.
Yeah.
I love that, rather than that stuff telling you. You know, like people like, oh, first class and economy, oh, we're going to the same place. Well, not truly, because you arrive, one will arrive refreshed, one will arrive with back pains.
Yeah.
So, but let it be your own choice, and not your pocket dictating that you can't afford it. That's what I feel. Well, to me, it's all about the ability to make choices.
Absolutely. Mr. Femi, it's been great having a chat with you.
Thank you.
And we
so
cannot
much.
wait
Thanks
to do
for
some
having me.
more bigger
Yep.
things.
Yeah.